Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. Whew. Hi, Mama. Wow, my mom's on, so that's going to be interesting because we're talking about money. And my mother is the queen of luxury because she is a regal being. And yeah, so I just finished a private client call now, which was so graceful and so gentle. And so initially my super fierceful money bitch was kind of ruling my day, but now I feel very gentle and very in my body, which is perfect. Hi Tuli, hi Gio, hi Ida, hi Kim. So yeah, I'm gonna just speak very vulnerably and openly about what I've learned in this process of getting into the core of what this frequency of money is, and particularly owning the queen, the woman that wants to have luxury, that wants to look beautiful, wear beautiful things, enjoy what it feels like on a sensual level, like an embodied level, to enjoy wealth. And it's been a journey. So yeah, I can feel in my throat that it's been a real process of owning this in my voice. So what I first want to speak to is that we all have different blueprints that were sort of set during our childhood of what money meant to us emotionally. And I grew up in a very privileged home. Money was very accessible. I saw nice things. And with being in South Africa, the reality of the gap between rich and poor was very significant and brought up a lot of shame, and was something not explained to the young child that I was. And so I always felt like we needed to hide it. My mom had already transmuted that, and she really walks in the world with complete grace and inner knowing of what she deserves. But for me, I had to really process a lot of necessary for me white guilt and privilege guilt. And so I kind of got really pulled into the spiritual world of money being evil and money being the kind of cause of the destruction in the world. And yeah, it was quite a like pendulum swing. So I grew up at first modeling and earning money, moving to London, working in nightclubs, just seeing lots of money rolling in, like champagne, models and bottles, like thousands and thousands of pounds on the table. Earning money very easily in that time because I was living in that world. But I always felt it was really dirty. I associated it with, these kind of like gross Arab princes and oligarchs that were just, paying for models and paying for, like using money as a tool for power. And when I believed and continued to act out of that blueprint that money is dirty and money is power and money is evil, my reality continued to show me that experience. And so it then became linked to abuse, because as somebody who didn't accept that money could be a vibration of freedom and love and sovereignty, I then didn't have my own independence through money, and so I had to rely on others. And as a woman, when we are not in a place of independent financial freedom, we are very prone to manipulation. And so, of course, I had these wonderful men that wanted to look after me and spoil me with gifts, which, you know, was wonderful. I accepted with full excitement. But it soon would turn to control, and I felt this like unconscious guilt that I then owed them something, and there was like an unspoken transaction that was going on. So just a moment to honor anyone who's ever experienced that, and to forgive yourself. This is a very ancient wound for women, particularly, and so my journey in the healing of my belief system and my blueprint around money has truly allowed me to expand into other realms. So before I got to this place now where I see money as just simply a current, kind of like currency is a current, it's this vibration, this wave, this frequency, and we get to tap in and start floating on that wave, and the wave keeps going depending where you're at with that energy of really receptivity, because it's about a container. So if your container is still holding onto this belief of scarcity, then your life will be limited to that capacity of what your container can hold. So just to kind of go back, I kind of went on this hippie road, and this is something I really want to speak about, because I mentioned in my last story that don't let your spiritual life hinder your process of growth. And what I found when I went deep into the spiritual worlds was that, again, there was this like, the system's bad, money is evil, like we're gonna fight by not partaking. And I was like a barefoot hippie. I didn't need money. I was just gonna bum off everybody else, just like my hippie friends. And we stayed, I think they were living in a squat in Camden at one point. It was just like living off the bare bones, and it was cool. We thought we were really evolved souls, you know, fuck the system. But ultimately there was somebody who was paying, and it was usually the person who was working in the cafe long hours to fund the lazy ones of us that were still kind of like, you know, thinking that we were beyond this. And it's tough, because I really honor the Sufi path and the path of no possessions. And so I don't deny that journey. I have a lot of space for it and a lot of understanding of the importance of it, to let go of attachments. In this period of my life when I was traveling, I also lost so many things. I had, you know, just beautiful bags and jewelry that I'd collected during my my time living in London, and gifts, you know, that I'd been given, and I just kept losing them. Like I'd go to a city and I'd lose all my rings, or somehow I would lose a wallet, and it was just like the universe wanted to support me in just getting rid of all of these material possessions, perhaps to understand what I associated their value, what my relationship was to the value of them. And I soon learned that actually I didn't need anything. I was very happy to live with little. It felt very stress-free. And yet again, I lacked true choice in what I wanted to do, because I didn't have my own funds to say choose that hotel rather than being, you know, in this kind of group living situation that gave me no sense of my sense of like my own space. So yeah, the spiritual rhetoric of money being separate to your spiritual life really needs to kind of break open, because ultimately when you really understand your blueprint and when you heal through that, wealth and money and abundance and whatever that then means for you, it will just expand the person that you are. So I was so afraid that if I got lots of money, I'd become this greedy, controlling, materialistic asshole that I saw maybe in my childhood, or who I saw due to that blueprint that I'd sort of believed. But the fact is that the more money that I get in my container, the more money that comes into my life, the more I give. You know, my number is the philanthropist, it's the 9, the humanitarian. I'm always of service. I sometimes wonder if I could just be like a famous pop star and enjoy my, you know, just enjoy my wealth just for me. But there's a part of me that that wants to give. And so to deny myself of receiving more money is to deny my service into the world. You know, ultimately we can give free love, but what would it mean to build a school? You know, what would it mean to use these funds to create a network of entrepreneurial women that can then support themselves in creating their own businesses? What would it mean if women didn't have to rely on a potentially abusive husband or a controlling father or partner, whatever, male or female, because they were in a place of sovereignty? And so when I look to money now, I'm going to even call this live, I forgot to title it, but I'm terrible with these things. I'm going to call this live I Love Money, which in like a million years I would never even admit to, because I felt like, ooh, I can't say that I love money. You know, people are going to judge me for that. And I'm just like, that's what's blocking the flow of money coming in. Because as soon as I did this course and I understood that it's vibrational and that it's simply a current, oh my God, it's like clients today, I just got so much cash. Like people are buying herbs. I'm not even having to hustle. I'm just expanding my container of wealth because I've really sat and looked at my blueprint and the lie of the blueprint. That was simply a trauma of a child that didn't understand, and perhaps a parent that grew up in scarcity. So there's really a place of forgiveness within me and within others who have, like sex, used money for other purposes. And that's simply because of a deeper rooted insecurity. But that is not my story. And that is not your story. And your story could be that, you know, with your funds, you go out and start this fucking epic business that, you know, creates healing and cures, I don't know, traumas and issues, and, you know, also makes beautiful things. It's okay to live a life of beauty and to enjoy beautiful things. I remember actually feeling, you know, I wonder if my mom's still on here. I remember very distinctly feeling jealous of my own mother, who just had so many beautiful things and rings, and like my mom, if you know her, she's so fabulous and has like, you know, stunning cars, and many judge her. And I remember a friend telling me about integrity, and when we compare ourselves to other women and when we judge someone, we are literally severing our ability to invite that in. Comparison is the killer, and oftentimes it's women judging women when it comes to money. It's like we're judging each other, being like, it's not okay for that bitch to have that money, or like she only has that because she's got rich parents, or she sold her body, or like all these stories about why this person is living a fabulous life. That's got fuck all to do with us. And as soon as we drop those judgments and celebrate the fact that they're celebrating their life and enjoying however they choose to live their life, we literally blast open the resistance, and it comes in and it flows in. It's pure energy. Love, sex, money, all of these things, they're vibrational force, and you choose how you then show up and how you choose to use them. Yay, I'm so glad you're all enjoying abundance, jealousy. Yeah. So I'm just like so grateful that I have this role model in my life through my mother and through her. She's always been called like the Empress. She really has this regality, and she like would always say, I'm the most overdressed woman in Cape Town and I don't give a fuck. Like, she just really owned herself and owned her like luxury lifestyle. And I feel like as I start to adult and take responsibility for my own finances and take responsibility for my dreams and be honest about my desires. I wasn't honest about myself. Truth is, I want money. Why? Because then I can travel. Then I can support local business that's selling beautiful earrings or like gorgeous jewelry. I can get a massage every week because my body deserves to be, like luxuriated and honored and touched. And what my coach, so Angela Sumner, such a queen, she also really helped me to break through this, because at the time I asked her, well, like, what about the masseuse? Like, why doesn't she deserve to live a life of luxury or receive massages? And Angela was like, the worst thing you could do is try to project your desires or your yearnings onto somebody else. So like, who are you to say that masseuse isn't living their best life and their greatest dream, which is to honor this vessel? Like, quit putting yourself in somebody else's shoes and projecting your nonsense or using excuses. Basically, it's just excuses to stepping up into your own power and your own like queenness and royalty and luxury. And it doesn't have to look like this. It doesn't have to look like a designer lifestyle. Maybe for you it's still living on a farm. It's having the money to buy your land, like Tuli, having the ability to buy animals and tend to a garden. And it's completely unique to you what you decide to invite in and to let out with this wealth. I really wanted to speak to this final kind of like blamey tension and trickery kind of around our relationship to money, because really it's only serving the lack within you. And it's okay for us to be abundant. It's okay for us to be full. It's kind of like I see my journey even with the vegan community, with the spiritual community, even sometimes with the racial stuff. Like when there's a frequency of shame or guilt, it can hook you in and make you operate from that place, from being bad. And ultimately we have to all trust and believe that in being honest, in healing, in feeling that there is enough for everyone, there is enough for us to live our lives and to love, that we're going to transmute this greed and this inequality, and we're going to empower and ignite those around us. And it's really about integrity. You know, you choose with your dollar, you choose with your rands. I've made a conscious choice where I buy my stuff. I don't buy firsthand. I look at the source of where my clothing comes from. I buy secondhand clothes, like all my goods. This was homemade by my friend Lily. There's also an element of quality over quantity, and also really navigating your emotional state when you're purchasing. And this is really important for women, because the media have kind of used our insecurities to operate that consumerism. And I'm not talking about us all becoming rich and consumerist and continuing to destroy the world with all the cuck that we buy. When I talk about wealth and I talk about quality, I'm talking about really having integrity when you're shopping and when you're buying something. When I buy from a place of like feeling insecure, so just buying some crappy, I don't know, Topshop item of clothing that's built in a factory store, that doesn't feel good to me. That's not coming from a place of wealth and abundance. That's coming from like a place of, oh, I feel just shit. It's like a takeout. Like, I'm just gonna get this. It's a takeaway. It's gonna feed some kind of very short-lived like high. It's like a quick high, kind of like a clitoral orgasm. It's like a sharp spark, but the after effect is often feeling a little bit drained, feeling a bit gross, like, where did this come from? Do I really need this? And then it goes into the waste piles. So yeah, that's really important to also consider, is like, where am I spending my money? I'm going to run a very simple course. So if you are interested, please DM me or email, and we will go through these processes. So I've done like Angela's course, Everest's course. I've done a lot of different spiritual money work, and I've kind of combined it. And I'm going to do a very simple, very accessible course for us to explore this together. And it really starts with, looking at certain things like, where am I spending money? And that will show very quickly how you respect money or how you disrespect money. So money is also like, how you treat it is how it will treat you. So yeah, that's kind of the chat that I wanted to share today. It was interesting to read what people thought of when they heard the word money. I asked a question, and many people said freedom, which really resonates with me. Money is my freedom. It's my ability to say, like, fuck you, I don't need that from you anymore, and I don't condone that behavior, so I'm not going to let you manipulate me with money. Or I can then share with abundance and absolute excitement to support others in stepping into this realm of abundance and excitement. So yeah, it is from deliciousness, Flora. It's like, it's the same when you buy. Like, how you pay is how you receive. So if you're going to shops and being like, oh fuck, this is so expensive, and you pay with that kind of energy, like, that's how people pay you. So when I pay someone and it's like a big sum of money, like thousands and thousands for my coaches, I pay and I'm like, plenty more where that came from. Like, I pay with such joy because I receive with such joy. My emotional energy around money is something of love and excitement and bliss. So yeah, I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, you can add them to the chat. And also, please drop your email in my DMs so I can let you know when I'm going to run this money course. It'll be like definitely over 21 days, because we'll do like daily integration takes about 3 to 4 weeks for the shifts to start actually happening. And yeah, setting up our money temple and just really getting to the core of what the blueprints are. And it always helps to be in a container of others, because sometimes you don't even know like what your relationship to money is until somebody else in the group says, well, actually mine felt like I never had enough, and that it was only for those people, and so that's their blueprint. And so they're always looking out to others who have money rather than seeing that they also have the ability. So yeah, I'm so glad that you all enjoyed. I'm excited to dive deeper into this work with you. So yeah, many, many abundant blessings. Bring it in, bring it out. It's just a flow, it's a current. Just always think of that. Current is a currency, it comes and goes. And the less we attach or fear, the more it's like just open and the container expands. So yeah, lots and lots of love to you all. And we will be in touch.